startups that have holdcos and their opcos are in Pakistan, why can't the grant be given to the opco? And the second question is that you have already invited people to join the advisory committee. What discretion will the committee have? And generally, like, can you speak a little about the role of the committee so that they're more
Right.
aware?
Let's answer the second question first. It'll act exactly like an investment committee. So the idea is that they'll vet the deals, they'll look at the deals, they'll choose to either participate in deals or turn them down. They'll also decide on the ticket size between $100,000 $300,000, and they can help you syndicate rounds through the Pakistan Startup Fund with other investors that are part of our network. So that's kind of their mandate, so to speak, and their discretion. And I really want to involve good people from the community and empower them to be able to then make those decisions. That's their discretion. We can give them some KPIs, broad KPIs, but some of you are investors, of course, so you understand that this ain't the kind of thing that you reduce to KPIs and numbers, and you don't restrict people from making opportunistic investments, especially in the early stage. You have to make a lot of decisions based on gut and just experience and understanding and faith. So I hope they'll do the same also, and that we'll make it as less restrictive as we possibly can. 30 investments in a year is decent. It's not a hell lot, but it'll still 30 will give them enough opportunity to make a few mistakes without having to lose too much sleep over it. But that's the idea. The idea is to act like an early stage investor where you're a pot of funds and you're happy to make mistakes and make big bets. This is the stage where you make a bet and there's little to show otherwise. So, and I don't want to really reduce this to KPIs, etc. But if you have any ideas on anything you want to pass on to them and recommendations for people who should be part of this investment committee, do feel free to pass that on, and we look at it, and maybe we can have another session. And some of the folks that you recommend have already become part of this startup fund and could be fielding some of these questions on my behalf, and you can give them more suggestions too. And the holdco, I haven't said that these startups can't have a holdco. There are many companies that have entities outside that either own them entirely or a large fraction of it, of course. But the entity that gets our funding would be the entity in Pakistan. And the entity that receives your funding would be the entity in Pakistan. So as you unlock 70, 80% of your funds, you get 20, 30%, 10% from us. That's the deal. And of course, there could be another company outside, call it a holdco or whatever, that owns some fraction of this entity, could be a large fraction also. And we're not concerned about that. What we are concerned about is for this entity in Pakistan to be registered here, for this entity to receive your funding, and for us to top it up with 10 to 30% of our grant.